Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn the rest half of the lesson, that is temperature. Before, let us start with the learning of the rest half. Let us see what we have learned in the previous lecture. The sun rays falling on the earth are parallel to each other. However, we have seen that the spherical shape of the earth and resultant curvature of the surface, and they occupy larger or lesser area. This leads to unequal distribution of heat from the sun, resultant in decrease in temperature from the north and south poles based on the distribution of temperature. The earth can be divided into torrid, temperate or frigid zones, or tropical, temperate and polar region. Let us perform an experiment to see that there is a difference in heating and cooling of the land and water. Let us see, do it yourself. Take 2 pots of same size and fill them with water equally. At sunrise, keep one of the pot inside the house and other on outside. See that they remains in the sun all the time as shown in the figure. In the afternoon, walk barefoot on the floor inside the house and feel the temperature of the floor. Feel the temperature of the water in the pot inside. Perform the same activity outside the house and get the feel of the temperature of land and water kept in the sun. Write down your observations about the temperature of land and water. Do this again around 7 in the evening. Note your observations again. Now you can remove the pots. Always remember, we normally think that air gets heated due to the sun rays, and because of the hot air, the land and water gets heated. But in reality, what happens is as follows. First, land and water gets heated due to the sun rays. Later, they radiate into the atmosphere. The heat that they have absorbed, as a result, the layer of the air close to the surface gets heated. The heat gets transferred vertically to the adjacent upper layer of the air. Hence, the air closer to the surface is hotter, and as the one moves upper or higher up from the surface, the temperature of the air decreases. The temperature near to sea level is higher and it decreases in the mountainous ranges. We normally think that air gets heated first because of the sun rays, but it is not in reality. In reality, what it is the land. The land and the water gets heated first, and because of that heat, the surrounding air gets heated and it is being spread all over. We must have realized that the land cools down earlier than the water. The water kept outside in the sun is still a little warm. Due to this, the difference in the heating and cooling of the land and water, the air over the land gets heated faster and also becomes cooler rapidly. The air over the water gets heated slowly and also loses the heat in the slower manner. In the coastal areas as compared to the continental areas, the temperature of air is low during the day but warmer at night. Contrary to this, the temperature of air in the continental areas is higher during the daytime and lower at night. In the coastal areas, because of the heating of sea water, water vapors get mixed into the air. This water vapor holds the heat in the air. As a result, the air in the continental areas remains moist and warm. The conditions in the continental areas are opposite. As the water vapor is absent, the air remains dry. It leads to sharp differences in the day and night temperatures. The difference in the maximum and minimum temperature of a day is called as diurnal range of temperature. Therefore, the coastal areas have an equable temperature, whereas in continental areas the climate is extreme. The difference is the mean temperature of summer and winter is called the annual range of temperature. Do you know? Let us see. The effect of greenhouse gases. Some gases in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide and water vapor can hold heat within themselves for a long period of time. Due to these gases, the temperature of air in the atmosphere increases. The increasing proportion of these gases in the atmosphere leads to climate change. The climate scientists believe that this is the reason for the increasing temperature of the earth. This change in climate is global. This is called global rise in temperature. The gases due to which the temperature increases are called as greenhouse gases. So, what the gases such as carbon dioxide and water vapor, this is having a capability to hold the heat. If this kind of gases are increased in our atmosphere, the temperature of the climate increases. So this kind of climate change in climate is called as global, and this global rise in temperature is what we call as greenhouse gases. Do it yourself. Take a pot filled with water, place it on a burner. Drop 4 to 5 small plastic buttons in it and observe their movements in water. Water expands on heating. The hot water from the base moves upward. With it, the buttons too are pushed to the surface. The relatively cooler water in the upward portion moves downwards, taking the button with it. This happens repeatedly. In other words, on heating, an upward current sets in the water. In nature, the conditions are slightly different. Due to the temperature differences, both upward and horizontal currents develop in the ocean. Besides, the temperature difference factors like winds, difference in the density of water also give rise to horizontal currents. This ocean currents flows from the equator to the polar region and from polar region to the equator. When an ocean current flows from the frigid to the torrid zone, it reduces the temperature of the coast in the torrid zone. When a current flows from the torrid to the frigid zone, it increases the temperature of the coast in the frigid. Let us see the geography museum. There are number of methods of showing distribution on a map. One of this is isolines. Due to this method, the characteristic distribution of a component stands out vividly. Isolines can be drawn using statistical information about the natural factors. These lines are drawn on the map by joining all the points having same value. The distribution on the regional or global levels are being shown using isolines of different factors like height, contours, temperature, isotherms, pressure, isobars, rainfall, isoheights, etc. Considering the temperatures of various places on the earth, map of global distribution are prepared. Figure is drawn with the help of isotherms. Isotherms are the line that connect places with the same temperature after avoiding the effect of height. These lines gradually appear parallel to the latitude on a world map. Observe the isotherm of 25 degree in the map. This line occupies area close to the equator. The shape of this line appears like an ellipse on the map. The north and south spread of this ellipse is greater on the continent as compared to the oceans. The isotherm lines occupies South America, Africa, Asia and Australia. A very limited portion of the Pacific Ocean is occupied by this isotherm. You will find two isotherms with a label of 0 degree Celsius. Observe them. The 0 degree Celsius isotherm from the southern hemisphere is largely straight and is parallel to the line of latitude. Comparatively, the line of the same value in the northern hemisphere deviates north and south considerably. In the west, in parts of Pacific Ocean, it is fairly straight, but when it enters to the continent of North America, it turns somewhat to the north, then the line proceeds eastwards. Within a short distance after entering the Atlantic Ocean, it turns towards the northeast. In this part, you will find all the isotherm lines turning towards the northeast. This is because a warm ocean current is located in this area. Further, after entering the Eurasia, while moving eastwards, it turns somewhat to the southeast, still further in the Pacific Ocean. Some of these isotherm lines appear moving eastwards as straight lines. The isotherm in the south hemisphere are fairly parallel to the latitudinal lines. From South Pole to the Tropic of Capricorn, the distance between these lines is almost equal. As the proportion of the land in the south hemisphere is limited, the temperature in these parts are largely influenced by the latitude. The north hemisphere, the distance between these lines varies, and the hemisphere, the portion of the land is comparatively greater. This affects the distribution of temperature. These effects are seen in the form of variation in the distance between the isotherm or curved nature of these lines. Now, let us see, can you tell? The questions have been given here with the help of a figure. See this picture, what it is? It is a simple thermometer, right? The first question is given, what is the tube of the thermometer fixed on? The tube of thermometer is fixed on this mount. Mount is a box type structure. Yes, so it has been fixed on this mount. Let us see the second question, that is, what substance is used in the thermometer tube? Mercury or alcohol is used in the thermometer tube. What do the figure on the scale indicate? The figure on the scale indicates the temperature scale. In which different unit is the temperature measured? The temperature is being measured in Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. What season does the temperature in the figure indicate? The temperature in the figure indicates the summer season, that is 37 degrees Celsius. Let us see the next topic, that is temperature. The different types of thermometers are being used for measuring the temperature of air. Mercury or alcohol is used in the thermometers. The freezing point of mercury is minus 39 degree Celsius, whereas of alcohol is minus 130 degree Celsius. These materials are highly sensitive to temperature variations. Variation in temperatures from minus 30 degree Celsius to plus 55 degree Celsius can easily be observed with the help of this material. The units of measuring the temperature are degree Celsius or the degree Fahrenheit. As shown in the figure, these are measured as degree C or degree F. The difference in the daily temperature, maximum to minimum, can be observed with the help of this temperature.